Okay, Korean striker Jamie McGonigle. First of all, congratulations last week on your 200th appearance for Korean. Celebrated in fine style with a goal. Just 200 games for Korean, that's a lot, isn't it? I mean, considering that you've been at other clubs as well. Just how do you reflect on those 200 games?
It sort of crept up on me a wee bit as well until Marshall Gillespie was on the pointed it out that it was coming up. Then I'd text Johnny about it then just to confirm it, and it was. So, but no, it's flew in, like it's came along a lot quicker than I thought it would.
It's crazy as well because it's like 200 games. You had spells at Crusaders and Derry City, and you're back here. Crazily, you're only 28 still as well.
I know, I still have hopefully plenty more in the tank. Hopefully, I have plenty more appearances for Korean, and hopefully at least double that. But no, I've a lot of senior appearances, which is probably surprising for my age so far, and just hopefully I can get many more.
Yeah, do you think, as I said, you're 28, do you think maybe you're coming into the peak years of your career?
Probably should be. That's probably what everybody defines your peak as. No, this side of 30, and no, I think I've learnt the game a lot better now. I'm wiser to a lot of things, and I think this should be my prime years now.
And as I said, you celebrated it in style. You got off the mark on Saturday, and we were speaking after the game. It was the penalty, and Nathan Garth's side you knew very well from your time at Derry, and you'd said you'd practiced penalties against him. Did that have a bearing on how you took that penalty?
It definitely did. As I told you on Saturday, I'd practiced them against him before, and Nathan's actually very good at penalties. He's saved a lot in his career so far, and only one I could think of was just high and hard, and thankfully when it hit the bottom of the bar, it went in the net.
The way you hit it, the force with you hit it, at the time I thought there was a lot of frustration sort of went into that shot as well. And was that reflective of the fact that it's been a kind of a start to the season for you because of niggly injuries?
Aye, maybe a bit. Like, niggly injuries isn't something that I'm used to, and I just had to make sure that we went in 1-0 up at half time, so I just put my foot through it, put a bit of power in it, and thankfully it did go in.
You didn't reappear then for the second half. Was that precautionary, or was that an agreement before the game that you would maybe play a half and then Chevy would play a half?
No, it was sort of a precautionary thing. Kieran had sort of just says, no, we're better calling it now just in case it gets any worse, and thankfully I think we did call it early enough because I've been able to train and stuff this week, so things are looking good.
So we're a couple of days out from the Linfield game. How are you injury wise now? Would you be fit and available for selection?
Fit and available for selection, yeah.
With that in mind, I mean, it's been probably a while since Dean has had the option of maybe using you, Chevy, Rhys Campbell all together up front. I mean, if that comes to pass on Saturday, it's quite a forward line, isn't it?
Aye, we have a lot of attacking options there. I know you add on Connor, and even like the likes of Glaxy's obviously more of a midfielder now, but he can play there as well. And there's lots of different options, but I'd say that's probably a good headache to have, to be honest.
And probably no better game as well, because Linfield obviously coming to town on Saturday, and they're top of the league before the game at the weekend, and they've done okay. I think they've only lost one, and typical Linfield, they're not making a lot of headlines for their performances, but they're grinding out results, and anytime they come to town, you know it's going to be a difficult game.
Aye, every time Linfield's came here, it's been tough. Even going to Windsor, obviously, is tough. But it's the same every year. It doesn't matter. All the games don't have to be pretty as long as you're getting the points on the board. That's probably what they're thinking on their side, but it's up to us to put our stamp on it on Saturday and hopefully get one over on them.
And the last meeting here, I think, was in February, just of last season. Korean ended up winning 3-0. You were on the score sheet, and Chevy as well. I mean, something similar to that would go down nicely.
Oh, definitely would. That was a brilliant night. The crowd was obviously a big crowd there. Atmosphere was good, and I think we just picked our moments and picked them off well.
You mentioned the crowd as well, and there was a big game here for the Ballymena game. Linfield always a big crowd. How important is that? Because I think Korean have won 3 home games this year. The fans have a big part to play in it, and they are a big element in the showgrounds here.
They definitely are, like, especially seeing them times where in the game where it can get tougher, you need a bit of help. Sometimes the crowd can sort of dig you out of that and drive you over the line and get the result that you're looking for.
And just overall, just to finish as well, the team have been going well. I think Korean only lost one. Maybe you could argue too many draws there, perhaps, for your liking. But within the squad, I know we've talked before, it's a very sort of new squad, a very young squad. Do you see improvements week on week in terms of gelling and confidence within the squad and the team?
Definitely do see improvements, from whenever, say, the start of pre-season, and as you said, there's a lot of new players. It takes time. No, we're all buying into what Dean wants to do, and we're doing it. But obviously there's going to be mistakes along the way, and it's just about that bit of patience, and hopefully it all comes to fruition in the end.
Yeah, and just finally, you enjoying it? Obviously you're back. You've been away. You've come back again. How have you found it on your second?
I'm loving it. I think the transition into the full time surprised me a wee bit how smooth it actually went, but that's obviously down to the work of the board and everybody in the background that's got all the work, so it runs so smooth for us.
Very good. And just as I said, you're back. you left as a young man. You're back now, father of two. So I mean, how does that change things, and just in terms of your overall life?
Oh, it's mad the change. No, since I was last here, but no, father of two, you're definitely busy now, and your life basically revolves around them. See, whenever I go home here today, now it's back to looking after the weans, and that's just the way it is.
In your 200 games, what's any highlights? Any ones that stand out?
Probably the Larne game, the 5-3. I would pick out. That's probably up there. One in the Irish Cup's the obvious one, and probably just making my debut because that's where it started.